This is an NBC News special report. Here's Hoda Kotb.
Good morning. Good to see you. You are coming on the air right now with breaking news. A massive global technical outage tied to CrowdStrike, which is a major cybersecurity provider, has knocked critical computer infrastructure offline all across the country and, in fact, all around the world. It's an issue with a software update. It's impacting lots and lots of Microsoft computer systems worldwide, from businesses to emergency services, 911, traffic lights, transit systems, and it's having a major impact on airlines as well. American, Delta, United, they're all keeping their flights grounded. You're looking at some live scenes from the airport. It is chaos again, 6 a.m. on the East Coast, and this is the scene now. They're having difficulty even printing any kind of boarding passes. This, of course, is a developing situation. The full scope of this problem remains to be seen. And Brian, as we get started right here in Studio 1A, we should point out computers at NBC News right here as we're getting on the air. We're trying to do some workarounds here to get on the air, but this is something that's affecting people worldwide.
Yeah, and other newsrooms, our partners over at Sky News, having issues as well. I mean, this is impacting all different types of businesses. When you talk about airlines, you also talk about, just 911 services, in some cases reporting outages as well. And you're even hearing of anecdotes of banks in other countries experiencing that. We don't yet have reporting of banks in the United States being impacted by this, but this appears to be not just in the United States, worldwide, and across different types of industries.
This definitely speaks to what I feel like is the fragility of the situation. It's like this is not a cyber attack. This is a computer kind of snafu that happened.
Yeah, and just to kind of walk you through exactly what's going on here. So this appears to be an issue between CrowdStrike and Microsoft. So CrowdStrike, for those that aren't familiar, is a cybersecurity firm that basically provides businesses with a way to foolproof their systems from being hacked. Now, apparently what happened was that CrowdStrike was working on some sort of update. We just heard from the CEO in the last few minutes describing this as not a security incident or cyber attack. So I don't repeat that again. It doesn't appear to be a cyber attack at issue here. But the reason why CrowdStrike is so instrumental to not just businesses here in the United States, but around the world, is because any sort of business that hires CrowdStrike to basically foolproof their systems, well, they're going to be incorporating that into their computers. So if they get that, it's being plugged into Microsoft computers. If there's an issue with CrowdStrike, it takes down all of those Microsoft computers that are related to that. The company's saying Mac and Linux computers are not impacted, but again, this is very widespread.
Because I think what happened was a lot of people, this was happening in Australia, Europe, while we were all sleeping. We woke up and we were like, what's going on? But what people are finding is they're getting on their computers or at the bank or at the airline, and they're seeing just a blue screen. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, well, the term for this is called the blue screen of death. And I don't know if we have examples that we can show on the screen right now, but we've been seeing it even in our newsrooms this morning. So it's basically this blue screen that has this prompt that says, you're having issues, and they're basically trying to figure out a workaround. But that essentially bricks your computer. You are unable to log in. Now, that's scary for any person that's just trying to log into their personal computer, although it's not clear if your personal computer has CrowdStrike. If it doesn't have that plugin or have that cybersecurity layer, you likely won't be affected because of the nature of what we understand this issue to be. But for all these enterprise companies, which is translation for corporate customers that use this protection, well, that's a major issue. If you can't log in, you can't print out the boarding passes to get people on their planes. You can't, as a bank teller, even get fired up to help open up someone's deposit account. This is a major issue. CrowdStrike says that they have an issue. They identified the issue, they isolated it, and there's a fix that has been deployed. How long that fix takes to basically patch over all this, we don't know, as it seems like anecdotes of these issues and outages are still out there.
And when you're thinking about it, like 911, all of these things, hospitals, like time of the essence when it comes to this. But you did bring up the airlines, and a lot of folks, I have a good friend who's on the way to the airport who's texting me saying, what's going on with all these flights? This is the scene at the airport, and we have NBC's Antonia Hilton. She joins us now. I think she is at Newark Airport. Antonia, what's the scene there?
Good morning. Well, passengers are arriving here to Newark to chaos, long lines, and intense frustrations. The kiosks are down, the computers are down, the boards where travelers typically go to find out what's going on with their delays and their cancellations, they're not updating properly. They're showing just a couple cancellations and delays, and passengers tell me that it's not reflective of what the staff tell them is actually happening. So we have tons of people who have been lining up, in some cases for hours, trying to get more information about their flights. And at times they've even gotten into fights with the staff here because they say This airline behind me here, Spirit, hasn't done enough to keep customers in the loop. They say they haven't received text messages, no updates through the app, that Spirit hasn't even yet posted a statement on their social media accounts like Twitter, the usual platforms that passengers would turn to in a moment like this. And so the emotions have, in some cases, really spilled over here. And some families have essentially just ditched the line. They're now moving aside, in some cases leaving the airport, convinced they might not get to leave on their flights at all today. What we know nationally right now, according to FlightAware, is that we have more than 500 cancellations and over 700 delays. If things don't start looking up soon, the guess from most of the people here at Newark, at least today, is that that could get worse, guys.
All right, Antonia, thank you. I think if you have your eye on what's going on in Europe, you kind of see what's going to be coming here as the sun rises.
Yeah.
We saw the chaos in the airports there. We're seeing it here. We see the situation with banks in Europe, and we're starting to figure out what that will look like here in this country as people wake up.
Yeah, and again, I think it depends on how quickly CrowdStrike can address this issue, which, as their statement says, they're trying to deploy this fix. How quickly they can do that, we don't know. One thing I want to emphasize is that we've seen 911 issues in New Hampshire. They've been reporting that. Whether or not it's tied to this remains to be seen. But for those that are unable to access 911, do not try to call 911 to test it. Try to figure out other avenues, maybe try a different carrier, different type of phone to access them if you are in an emergency, because yes, we're talking about people trying to get to flights, but there are many serious emergency issues that as well that could be impacted by this. Just make sure that you're trying to try other avenues.
And quickly, again, they're saying this is a technical issue and not any kind of cyber
This is
attack.
not a security incident or cyber attack, that according to George Kurtz, the CEO of CrowdStrike on
All right,
X.
let's see what happens. This day is going to unfold. Again, thank you so much, Brian. We appreciate it. This concludes our NBC News special report. We'll have a lot more on our streaming network, NBC News Now, and at NBCnews.com. And of course, throughout the morning on Today. I'm Hoda Kotb. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in a bit.
First of all praises to the Father Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Barakadash. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters in recognition to observing this day for worshiping the Most High. Sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening, my people. Let's get some rest, worship, and praises into the Most High, because this is one of our commandments throughout all our entire dwellings. And also because He is more than worthy of such. Okay? Well, people, look. Yesterday I did a video about St. Louis, Missouri, preparing for an 8.4 earthquake on the Richter scale. You know, the magnitude of an 8.4 earthquake. Okay? Now, something like that alone will pretty much cast us back into the Stone Ages. You understand? To the point to where we won't have the technology that we have now. And it makes me wonder if would we be as resilient as our grandparents were when they, didn't have the technology that we have. What our hunting skills would be like, our fishing skills. Then there's competition to deal with, because you got the wicked evil ones that even if you were out there trying to rustle up a meal to put on the table, as far as hunting go, that they would be trying to eliminate the competition by sending maybe some bullets your way, trying to get you out of the way so it can be more for them. It will be an utter nightmare. You understand what I mean? But the thing is this: these things are coming, and we really need to be prepared for it. We really need to be prepared for it. It's been, talks about so-called other countries wanting to attack our grid, for a long time now. And now we got this situation taking place, I guess, over in London somewhere. I think that's what the video just said, And like Hoda said, it's just a matter of time before these things make it over here. But the main thing I want to get out is the message. The main message is to not only prepare for what's to come, but to prepare for the coming of the Most High. And the way to do that is to repent. for your own good, because if you don't, you're gonna get washed out of here. You're gonna get caught up before the Most High even make it. So you gotta pray that you even make it through this tribulation that's coming, and also that you are saved when it comes by Him through Yahweh Shai. So without further ado, let's get into these scriptures right here. We're going to start in Matthew 24, verse 8. And it reads, and when you see this right here, this is the Hamashiach speaking. All these are the beginning of sorrows. What we see happening. We are right here in the beginning of sorrows. Are we ready for the sorrows? You understand? We are right here in the prophecies of the Most High's word. Now it says right here, verse 5, Matthew chapter 24. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Now you know who he's talking to when he says these things. He's talking to his people. We are already hated of all nations for his name's sake, and a lot of us we don't even know it's because of him. But it's that the enemy know who you are. You think it's because of the color of your skin. You understand what I mean? No. It's for his name's sake, meaning because we are of the Most High. That's what it boils down to. Verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. We are right here, people. Here we are at the door of the beginning of these sorrows. Okay? 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouse shall suddenly be found empty. Okay? Now again, if this attack on our grid were to take place, guess what? People are going to flood the stores. They're going to flood the stores. It's going to be total chaos. You see how they act whenever they have that where people are camping out. I guess it's the day after Thanksgiving or whatever, and how they be camping out to get TVs that's been marked down like 90% and stuff like that or whatever. They run over people. They stampede. So this is going to be the same way here. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be every man for himself. And so this is another reason why I say we have to repent and be found, in the graces of the Most High. Because look, that way you can be in the Most High's favor, and he will make it easier for you to withstand all these tribulations that's coming. Okay, and that's basically what it all boils down to. Now, what I want to do is just read right here, start at verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouse shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one another, fight one against another, like enemies. All these people even your family, you're going to see what it is about them anyway. They've been giving you warning signs. You just been ignoring it. They already been showing you what they're about, okay? But in this time, when things really take place, and it all comes to a head, this is what's going to happen. To continue, And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape, and see my salvation and the end of your world. Okay? This is what this is all leading up to. The disposition and the end of this disposition in time, which is the end of the enemy's rule on this planet. Okay? And you want to be basically to the point to where you can escape these things. How do you escape it? Repent and be in the good graces of the Most High. 2nd Ezra chapter 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Here we are. Are we ready for this? This is a scary thing right here. You know, all this entertainment through politics and through social media, talking about football players getting women pregnant and stuff like that. And man, the thing with Trump, with the, which I believe was staged, but be that as it is, it's still entertainment. Entertainment equals distractions. The Most High is still showing us what is coming. The earthquakes, the grid attacks that's going to reduce us back to the Stone Age. That's going to lead to this right here, what we're reading. Right here in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. We have to be ready for these things, people. Let's continue. I think I'm just going to go over to Isaiah 13:9. This is what it all boils down to. Here it is. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Okay? That's what this all boils down to. Because see, this has to take place to get rid of the enemy and to get him out of control and to put him under the Hamashiach's feet. And if he's under the Hamashiach's feet, that means he's under our feet too. Because the Most High has come to deliver us from the grasp of the enemy. Okay? Now, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. One at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Okay? This going out to them proud, strong black women that say they don't need no man. You are going to need a man. You are not going to be able to endure this without first being saved through repentance, number one, and you are going to need a man. Did you hear what the enemies are going to come to do? You see, they're going to come and destroy and defile houses. What do you think you're going to be able to do against these people? You know, these low lives, you know? When it says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Strong black women, what are you going to do? You understand? You're going to need a man. So that's basically what that all boils down to. Let's go over here in Amos chapter 5 verse 20. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Okay? Now, Amos chapter 5 verse 17. And in all vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith the Lord. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? Question. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, and went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Woo! Verse 20. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light? Question. Even very dark and no brightness in it? Question. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. It says smell, not smile. But anyway, verse 22, though ye offer me burnt offerings, and you meat offerings, and your meat offerings, that is, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows. Most High saying, I don't want to hear it. When these times come, when I'm coming through, all the begging and pleading and the offerings ain't gonna mean nothing if you're not repentant before these things happen. This is what the Most High is telling us right here, okay? Revelations chapter 6, verse 12. Here it is. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. We are born. We are upon this. This is all coming, people. This is not make believe. The word is true. The word of the Most High will not come back void. Okay? We see everything else is taking place. Okay? And this stuff right here is coming too. You see? Let's read from this right here. Verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heavens fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. That's the great earthquake, people. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Okay, and here in Revelation 6:16, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. These are the people that want to rather be dead than to face the Hamashiach, because they know all of the evil and wickedness they have done, and the Hamashiach, the Most High, basically is coming for him. He knows the scriptures better than we do. The devil knows these things. What does that tell us? We better pray that we are forgiven and repented up to the Most High. That way He will have favor and not include us in with these people right here. You see. Now, Revelations 18:24. And it reads, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that is. Let me read this again. Revelations 18:24. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. Okay? And where? Right here in Babylon. Spiritual Babylon. Okay? That's where. Verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more in all in thee, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. Okay? That's when the Most High come back. That's what's going to happen, people. We better get ready. Don't take this as for play. This is real right here. I hope I said something to stimulate your spiritual growth, and I hope you found this lesson edifying. I hope you take it to heed. All praises to the Father Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. People, please remember to live your life as though we're being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.